Yo, what's going on, guys? Today we're going to be bringing you another top 5 rat hole videos on the newly added map Extinction for Ark Ascended. If none of these catch your eye, make sure to check out my other video over rat holes on Extinction. The link will be in the description. And yeah, with that being said, let's jump into our number 1 spot. Okay, so starting us off, our first 2 spots are going to be a little bit buggier than most rat holes. The other 3 are pretty fine to build in, but these first 2 you're gonna have a little bit map texture issues. So this spot's really strong because it's up in the air, so you're going to be using shandies as your defense. And chandeliers are very hard to destroy with just about anything that's not a cannon. And you're on Extinction, and element is now very easy to come by, so you can use force fields on your chandeliers, making them extremely hard to get rid of. Coming into the rat hole, you have this bottom section, which doesn't have a ton of space, but does have enough for a smaller starting out tribe. You can also go back here a little bit, but you kind of do get stuck if you go too far, so I wouldn't go too far. And then you can pop up through the top just by flying up. And then you have another rat hole. Once again, not terribly big, but not too small to not work with. Then you have a little bit bigger of a pocket if you drop down. And the entrance to this second rat hole is a little bit bigger, but still not massive. You could probably build double door frames, kind of like a cage right here, and then turrets along the actual terrain. That would make this spot pretty hard to get rid of, but this will probably get patched with the next update, considering you can just fly through the map. So let's go ahead and move on to our number 2 spot. Coming in at our number 2 spot, you're going to want to make your way over to the sulfur area on the map. The exact chords will be 65.5, 10.9. You'll know you're in the right spot because you'll see this terminal right here. You can use this early game as a transmitter if you don't have a transmitter unlocked or able to craft one yet. And the entrance is just this hole in the wall right here. You'll be facing the left when you're leaving that terminal. Come in here. And the reason this spot's buggy, you have a lot of room in here, which is really nice. This spot's not as strong because you're actually on the ground, but it is still pretty strong because you can't throw much in here. Decent amount of room, but unfortunately you can see outside the map right here. And then you'll teleport through the roof if you go to the right spot. But it's kind of weird because when you're in the spot, a lot of this wall is actually just a hard wall. Like, you can't fly up here. You just kind of get stuck. And then if you fly in the right spot, you teleport. So that's all there is to that spot. We're going to go ahead and move on to our number 3 spot. For our number 3 spot, you're going to go right above the city at 28.6, 33. And here's a little bit of an area view. You got this ramp. You're right next to the snow. So I think these are the first like man-made-ish structures that you'll see leaving the snow. You got the rib cage over there. Come a little farther. You got this ramp. Right underneath the ramp, you'll fly up into this crouch rat hole. This spot's really strong because it's a crouch. And it is massive inside. This is just a gnarly rat hole. Because once you come back farther, you have a drop down into even more space. So this is going to be where you have probably all your main stuff, and I would have more turrets back here as well. But I have seen people raise baby Rexes in here and keep them in breeding, or if you're on a server with a propagator, then you can still afford to have all your tames in here as well. Our next 2 spots will have slightly more room for you guys. So let's go ahead and move on to our number 2 spot. Coming in at our number 2 spot, you're going to want to make your way back to the sunken forest and go to 16.8, 14.6. This is right at the entrance to the sunken forest. You'll see the blue fallen obelisk right here. And you'll face towards this man-made structure. And right up here in the corner, you'll have another crouch rat hole. This spot's strong again for the fact that you can have shanties out there. But it is in a high traffic area, which is going to suck. I do believe, yeah, you can definitely fit indie forges over here. So you can fit indie forges, you can fit a replicator, you can fit everything you need in here. It does come back a little bit, so you can have like your vaults and some of your smaller end crafting stuff back here. I'd probably keep your cryos and vaults back here, and then all your crafting up here. Fit a little bit of breeding, not too much, but living in a rat hole, you probably don't expect to be breeding too much anyways. So let's go ahead and just move on to our... This isn't a crouch. Okay, so you can actually just run into the entrance. You don't have to crouch. I lied about that. But let's go ahead and move on to our number 1 spot. At our number 1 spot, this is my personal favorite, which is why I saved it for last. You can come in at 22.7, 17.1. You're still going to be in the sunken forest. Still by the fallen obelisk, but this time you'll actually be going into the obelisk. So head your way down to the bottom of it, right by this tiny waterfall. And you'll find that you can just come in here, take a hard left. And there does look to be a second entrance here, but I don't think you can actually come through this side. So you don't have to worry about that, but you can see out and they can probably see in. But once you turn this corner, you're just going to go down. And you got a lot of room in here. So I put the crafting station here just to demonstrate what you could fit right there. But with the entrance being right here, it's probably not where I would want to have all your crafting stuff. I would probably put all your crafting stuff down here on cliff plats, because you can fit a decent amount of space down here. Yeah, you can fit pretty much everything you need down there. You could even layer it if you want. This spot was just super flat, so I figured I would demonstrate using that. I want to show you guys what the spot looks like without all this here, just so you have a rough idea. So let's go ahead and destroy all this. And you guys can see what building it would actually look like. Okay, so that's what the spot will actually look like. I guess what I would probably do is kind of build a cage tower right here. That would probably work pretty well, actually. Maybe just do the net and then a bunch of door frames on the inside and do all the turrets on the actual terrain, as those are significantly harder to destroy than turrets on double door frames. But the double door frames do serve a good purpose in preventing them from like C4 running it. Because if I was to raid this, most likely what I would do is try to get a really good dive with an owl. God, I actually don't know if you'd be able to get a good owl dive here. Maybe I would just start right here. Yeah, I'd probably start right here and then dive in from there and go straight for this tower. But if you have a lot of turrets up here, they're going to be really hard to get rid of. Could probably put your generator. Probably not up there. Could probably get your generator up on one of these ledges though. Let's see. Oh man, I'm kind of surprised you can't get it there. It looks like a spot you'd be able to get it. Maybe if I rotate it. Doesn't look to be so. Alright, well, you could always just place foundations up here and place your gen on the foundation. I'm not a fan of doing that just because it makes it way easier to destroy. What I would probably end up doing is placing it here, placing foundations over top of it, and then placing bolts on top of that. That would make the generator really hard to destroy. But yeah, with that being said, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video and one of these rat holes comes to serve you some use. And see you guys next time. Have a good one. Oh, wow. Okay, I didn't know that this rat hole came up here. I guess I'm not done with the video yet. Oh, is there another exit? Okay, so if I was you guys, I would take note of this. It doesn't look like you can actually fly through it, but they can probably throw a Pelagornis through it and ride the Pelagornis. Probably can't get through there. So yeah, I would definitely be very wary of that. Okay, so upon further investigation, you actually don't need that Pelagornis because it looks like this is not the only entrance down here. The entrance also is up here, so you'll have to come down. So that makes this spot significantly weaker than I thought it was, but still definitely a viable base spot. Yeah, so that's keep that in mind when building here. This is another entrance. This is probably actually the entrance they'll raid from, is this top one. So they can come up here and then just drop stegos in. I don't know if a stego fits there, but turtles for sure, and a player could definitely still throw a stego. So you're going to want a lot of player-only turrets in here for sure. But yeah, just keep that in mind, guys, and have a good one. That's the end of the video.